As part of my art practice lesson, I will be showing you an example of how you can use some of the same techniques and materials as John Wolseley within your own class to create your own Wolseley-inspired landscape artwork. For this activity today, I will be doing this activity on a smaller scale within my own backyard, but you can certainly do it either within your own school grounds in places with lots of trees, plants and native birds, or you can do it on a larger scale by going to your local park or national park. Just please ensure that if you go to a national park that you seek permission before you use the land for your art class. So keeping this image of all the plants within my backyard, we really wanted to be focusing on capturing the feelings, sounds, textures and mood within the land in my backyard. As John Wolseley says, it isn't about how we affect the landscape, but it's really about how it affects us. So that's what we're going to try to do today, and that's what I really want you as teachers to be focusing on during your class. So just in the way that John Wolseley works, we will be following a series of steps within this activity. For this activity, you will need firstly some watercolour paper, which is thicker than normal paper. You'll also need some water in a jar and some paintbrushes, and then you will need your watercolour paints and some ink if you choose to use them for your washes, or you can also use some watercolour crayons as well. And of course you need a fine liner for your finer details later. The first step in the process is called the washing process. John Wolseley uses firstly washes of watercolour paints or ink to create the colours for his paintings. These create the mood within the painting. They normally use just the landscape colours, so the greens, blues, reds, oranges and browns. He's also been known to use purples, pinks, etc. So the washing phase, you just apply it quite roughly. You don't have to be particular about it. It's just all about creating that feeling. Okay, so the washing phase is almost complete. Ensure that you use lots of water as well, not too much because it'll soak through the paper, but just enough so all the colours kind of combine and create new colours. For the next phase, we will be using a technique which John Wolseley calls as frotting. Now I'll just get Katie to demonstrate what frotting is. It's kind of moving the artwork against the landscape, so it's actually including the landscape within the artwork. So as you can see now, there is parts of cobwebs and dints from the leaves and trees within the artwork. And you might even pick up things like a feather and move it across the painting to create new lines. And there we are. For this last phase, we are doing the finer details within the artwork. So we've already gone through and done the washes and taken it through the landscape. And now we're going back and incorporating things that we see and feel about the landscape to create the image of the landscape. This is a final product that I did earlier. This is my interpretation of the landscape. But within a whole class, with this activity, you would have so many different artworks. It's a really great activity because it gives the children a chance to express themselves within nature. And of course, John Wolseley educates children through his artworks to be environmentally conscious and be mindful of the way that nature makes us feel and how we can treat the nature back in return.